there we go. Good evening, everybody. I know it's cold out there. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. There we go. Hey, at least you get a second chance. Good evening to everyone tuned in around the country on our live stream. So my name is Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint. I'm going to be spending, it's usually 35 minutes, but tonight we've got a special format plan for you. So it's going to take a bit longer because this evening is what we call Tell All Tuesday. There's a slight shift in our normal presentation. So this is still going to be an introductory business presentation, which really is a business proposal. But the twist tonight is that we get to invite real people up onto stage to share their testimony. It's almost like the reviews on Amazon. You ever go buy a product on Amazon, you want to read the reviews, right? Make sure that what you're buying is legit. And that's exactly what Tell All Tuesday is about. It's about credible testimony from people that have experienced this business. Some for a short time, others for a long time. So I'm very excited to get to those individuals. If you have any questions, reserve those for after the presentation. I'm sure someone is hosting you or has invited you to this business presentation, so you can speak to them after the presentation. So let's get started. All right, so DuePoint. You're at our head office. DuePoint is a division of another company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. As you can see there in the very light faint writing, there's Constantia's logo. Constantia is a registered insurance company. We have been around for nearly 70 years because we were founded in 1952. I can only believe that because I wasn't around then, so I've got to just take it according to what they claim. But we've been in a business that's been around for a very long time, very credible business. As I understand it, Constantia played a large role in developing the insurance industry in South Africa. It's probably a brand that you're not aware of. Don't be surprised that you're not aware of it, because Constantia have always dealt with other businesses and never consumers. But for the first time through this division called DuePoint, we are now speaking directly to members of the public. To give you a little bit of context to the formation of our business, which happened 3 years ago, so we're just over 3 years old, a couple of factors came together in the formation of this business. And one of the biggest ones is economic and risk factors. These are, I guess, the primary reasons why you're here this evening and watching this presentation. You've probably been promised to come see a business that can create an income stream for you, right? You're here because you want to make money. And that's the primary function. We are often placed in this position out of necessity. I can only imagine what the old days must have been like when you got a job when you were 18 or maybe out of university, and you stayed with the same company until you were a pensioner, and then you went on retirement and lived happily ever after. Right? Those days don't exist anymore. I don't think those existed for a very long time. We are unfortunately in a position and born out of necessity where we have to start looking for other forms of income to mitigate a lot of the risk that we find ourselves exposed to in this economy. And the business answers that question for us, which will come to light in the presentation. Social entrepreneurship, one of the biggest aspirations we have as founders of the business is to create social impact through this social entrepreneurship opportunity. We actually wanted to create a positive change in the community that we work in, so in South Africa. And we believe, and we're already doing it through this business, and that'll become apparent when we speak to actual wealth engineers. And then better distribution. So this was a business decision for us. We've been involved in many other businesses. Brendan and his father, our chairman, have been involved in many, many businesses over, Dr. Brian Benfield's, that's spanning 50 years. He founded Clientele Life and he's been CEO and COO of and chairman of many other businesses, not only in South Africa but globally. And those businesses have always typically built channels of distribution through traditional forms of marketing and advertising. DuePoint is different to those businesses because what we've done is we've decided not to adopt typical forms of of advertising and marketing. So instead of sending our money to expose our brand to the rest of the country to the likes of the broadcasters or billboard companies or advertising companies and that like, what we've decided to is incorporate and partner with members of the public that we depend on to help us grow this brand in South Africa. And so that's how we want to achieve creating channels of distribution for our product. We are going to become dependent on you in this partnership to help grow this business in South Africa. And if you're able to do this, if you are able to step into this business and help us grow a channel of distribution, not only for us, but for yourself, you get to play in a lot of the benefits that DuePoint promises its wealth engineers. So let's go through these benefits. These benefits allow us to stand apart from many business opportunities in the country, right? Primarily, yes, we get to create additional income for ourselves through this business. But the nature of the income is very important because there is a lot of power in the ability to create recurring income. Some of the wealth engineers know. I often tell the story of my father speaking to me about business when I was still in high school, early days in high school, so maybe I just started high school. And he gave me a book called Mind Power by John Keogh. And then at the same time, he said to me, you need to get into business that pays you while you're sleeping. And I had no idea what he was talking about. What business pays you when you're sleeping? It became blatantly apparent when I got into business and I started my own ad agency and ran that for 15 years that I wasn't creating any income while I was sleeping. The entire business had to be in front of computers designing and programming if we wanted to make money. And at the end of every single month, we started at zero again. Does this not sound like your salary? Right? And that is the problem. So the antithesis of recurring income is activity-based income, right? And this is a trap because it is constrained to time. As salary earners, and whether you're in small business or even a medium business owner, it doesn't matter what business you're in, there are many, many businesses, and employment is constrained to time. You have to work your 8 hours a day for 40 hours a week for 45 years so that you can earn a salary and pay bills. And if anything risks that, it risks your income, right? So if you get sick, how long does your boss let you get sick every single year? What is it? I don't know. There's a certain amount of days, right? It's not weeks, it's days that you get sick leave. And beyond that, you're on your own. Your income ends. What happens if that R word starts being whispered in your business? Retrenchment. There's 2 R words. We'll get to the second one. Retrenchment. The effect of retrenchment is that your income goes to zero. Retirement. Retirement and retrenchment are the same thing. Just one comes as a bit more of a surprise than the other one. Right? Even early retirement. I know this. My wife is a labor litigator for the biggest private employer in the country. When companies struggle, they will start to look at people that they can push into early retirement. Right? So they'll give you a package and say, take early retirement. Here's a good package. 95% of the population can't afford to retire. 95%. That's frightening. Right? And so those people are forced into looking for jobs again, trying to create income. And so our business mitigates all that risk tied to activity-based income because you get to share in the income in creating channels of distribution. Right? So it's a very powerful benefit. Power duplication, it's your opportunity to go out and build a team around you to effectively help you create a channel of distribution. That much faster, exponentially faster. Right? And so your income can follow the growth of your channel of distribution. And so your income can also grow exponentially in this business. Our business is flexi-time. It just means it's flexible. We've designed everything with flexibility, ease, and accessibility in mind. And so you can pretty much run your business from your mobile phone. That's all you need. You need your mouth. Maybe you don't even need your mouth. You can WhatsApp everybody to death if you want. But you need your mouth and you need a mobile phone. And you can build a channel of distribution from anywhere in the country at any time of the day. No startup capital. We've designed this business to have a very low barrier to entry. We've purposely designed the business to have very little risk involved. Very little risk. So that you are at liberty to do this business and try this business. To take the step of faith in this business that you've just come to know, perhaps for the first time today in the last week, and try it and see if it works, because there's no fear attached to any risk in our business. There's no products that you're going home with this evening. There's no registration fees. There's no starter kits that you have to buy. And so everybody's at liberty to try this business. At the same time, we've made it very accessible because we don't have qualifications and experience requirements. And then for me, most importantly, is that you get to focus your time on building an asset, one that you have ownership over. Again, I speak about the risk inherent to employment. We will spend 45 years working for somebody else with very little to show for it when we get to retirement. That's all of us. All of us. I'm talking to 95% of us. There's very few people that get to retire and actually retire. The rest of us go into panic mode. Stress comes to the fore, right? So why don't we start sacrificing time in building an asset that pays us out income? Why dedicate our lives to activity-based income? And that's the question I'm going to ask you later down in the presentation. I'm going to ask you to make a decision. This is a proposal. A proposal requires a decision at the end of it. And the decision is, what are you going to do to fit DuePoint into your life? And I'm hoping people will go, I'll do whatever it takes because I get to build an asset. The asset that doesn't retire me, doesn't retrench me, doesn't stop paying me when I'm sick. Right? And then finally, we don't have any selling requirement in our business. So those of you, our guests this evening, you might think, oh, what am I going to have to sell here at DuePoint? Did anyone bring a trailer to take products home with them tonight? No? How many people have got products in their garage sitting there, expired, that they were supposed to sell? We don't have any of those issues. Fortunately, we have financial products. The financial products are very convenient because they're intangible, right? No stock and distribution issues. And at the same time, because you have no mandate to sell, you're not going to be speaking about our products. We're actually very explicit about that. We say you may not publish, market, sell, talk about our products. That's great. Well, what are you going to be talking about? Business opportunity. It's the number one commodity that exists in South Africa today is opportunity. And you're going to be sharing in that good news, right? And so if you're able to go out and connect people to this business, so the same way as you become a wealth engineer and a product owner here at DuePoint, you're going to go out and start speaking to other people. A percentage of the people that you speak to will see DuePoint and see the opportunity. And in this example, you've got 5 people that have joined your business, right? So those first 5 are what we call your first point. Now your business takes on a life of its own because those 5 people are at liberty to go out and build their own channels. But what they're doing is they're helping you build your channel, right? This is where the collaboration takes place. And over a certain amount of time, this is what your channel could look like. And you're potentially being paid for every single product owner that you see on the screen. Not once off, not when you go visit them with product. You're getting paid every single month based on the size of your channel. And this is how you create recurring income. This is the asset that you get to build and make bigger every single day, if you wish, that pays out recurring income and mitigates all that risk and fear that we have in our lives currently. And that's what a channel of distribution looks like. How do we pay people this recurring income every single month? Well, how do we calculate it at least? So it's based on a 27.50 Rand that we pay for every product that you have in your channel, but it's dependent on where the product lies in relation to you, right? Because your channel starts growing outwards. The first people that you introduce to DuePoint, we call that your first point. Anyone that you connect personally to DuePoint will always be on your first point. And you can see according to the table, you get paid double for your first and your second point. So when the people in your first point go out and connect other people, know that those people are also earning you 55 Rand, right? And so if you had 10 people, that's 550 Rand that you're suddenly earning every single month. If you've got 100 people on your first and second point, you're suddenly earning 5,500 Rand a month. That's 60,000 Rand annually you've just created for yourself. Who would like a 60,000 Rand check? I know you're all feeling the pain still after January. We're still feeling the pain after January. Imagine getting a 60,000 Rand check once a year. You're able to generate that very quickly in this business if you want to. And then as your channel grows, you see that multiplier starts to drop, right? Back down to 100%. And as the product gets further and further away from you, your channel's growing and growing and growing. You see that table reduces to 4% by 0.8, but there's a little plus next to that 0.8. Why? Because it tells you that we don't limit you to 0.8 in this business. You can grow your channel beyond 0.8. We will carry on paying you. There's no limitation to the size of your channel. There's no limitation to how much money you can earn at DuePoint. We've got wealth engineers that surpassed 30 points in their business in the space of 24 months. Do you see the potential in this business? You have to have the patience, though. I always say this business is about time and numbers. We can't manipulate time, right? People have tried. Scientists are still trying. No one succeeded. So let the time just run. Be patient enough to watch your channel grow. What you can manipulate is how many people you're connecting every day to DuePoint. That's where your power lies, right? People still want to understand, though, well, how much time is actually required in this business? When you say you're going to have to shift things around to fit DuePoint into my life, how much time are we talking? And what am I going to get? Our most valuable commodity, time. So this projection over the next 5 years will give you a good idea of what you can derive out of DuePoint. If you connect 2 people a month, so this is only based on 2 people a month, all right, which is very moderate. After 6 months, you could be earning 2,500 Rand a month. Now, I love this example because it allows me to explain the lesson I learned when I saw the 2,500. My first reaction when the actuaries came out with this projection, because it's fairly complicated because we take into consideration all the negative aspects, people not paying, people not building, I said, no one's going to get excited over 2,500 rand for 6 months worth of work. I look around the room when I say that. I don't see any excitement on anyone's faces. Right? It's true. Why? Because things are so expensive. That's why. How many groceries are you going to get with 2,500 rand? If you put 2,500 rand in your wallet or your purse today, how long will it last? That cash. It always goes faster than you think. Right? You can maybe get 2 tanks of petrol. And so we make the mistake of constantly behaving like consumers. We look at 2,500 rand and we give it its spending value instead of the leverage it affords us. DuePoint is a business about leverage. You can turn that 2,500 rand into 900,000 rand in 11 years. Did you know that? The first thing you've got to do is not spend it. Put it into your debt. Again, we see all the statistics coming from the Financial Services Board and how much debt South Africa is in. I know everyone's got debt. Start putting money into your debt. It affords you leverage. Our business, the greatest aspiration, when we talk about social entrepreneurship and social impact, what we're actually talking about is creating wealthy people in DuePoint. Wealthy people in DuePoint. But the stepping stone to wealth is becoming debt-free. No more debit orders coming off your bank account. No more hire purchase. No more credit cards, no more overdraft. None of that. If you can get rid of all of that, then you're on the way to wealth. Right? And so in this example, we've got an example of a 1 million rand bond. If you put money, additional money into that bond, so you don't just pay the installment over 20 years, you take the money that you start earning out of DuePoint and you put it into your debt. And in this example, 2,500 rand on a 1 million rand property will reduce the bond term from 20 years to 11.5 years. You see how that doesn't make sense? It's counterintuitive. You're going, I'm putting in 20% extra into my bond payment, but it's reducing the bond term by nearly 50%. That's the power of compound interest. I want DuePoint Wealth Engineers to get onto the right side of compound interest. Like the banks are all on the right side of compound interest. Consumers are on the wrong side of compound interest. By month 12, you should be earning close to 9,000 rand a month. That's in excess of 100,000 rand annually. At month 24, you're close to 30,000 rand a month. Month 36, close to 50,000 rand a month. 4 years from now, you're close to 70,000 rand a month. And after 5 years, so if you don't have a 5-year plan, you're very welcome to adopt this one. 85,000 rand a month after 60 months of connecting 2 new people onto your first point every single month without fail. But this is purely academic. I said the actuaries came up with this, right? So how can we trust this that much if it's purely academic? Well, we've got people that are doing this. We've got people exceeding this. We've got people doing less than this. And we've got the people that don't do anything. And how much do you think the people that don't do anything are earning after 3 years? 0, exactly. Okay. And so it's very important for us to have testimony, to have these reviews of our business, to show people that are doing the business, right? We have got thousands of people joining this business every single month. The system is identical for everybody. There is equal opportunity for every single individual that becomes a wealth engineer. Yet everybody is different. The result is different for everybody. Why? There's a long list of reasons why people might be different. But you have to realize that you're at liberty to decide what you want out of this business. You decide what you want from our business, not me. I don't phone you and say, hold on, you're growing a bit too fast. Can you slow down? And I don't phone you either if you don't do anything and say, what are you doing? You joined, but you've done nothing. You don't get either phone call from me, right? You've got to do this because you want it badly enough. And so decide what you want out of DuePoint. And with that, we've got our first wealth engineer coming up, Peter Kluti. Sir, come join me. So Peter's been in the business since day one. Stand on the X here next to me. Day one, you can see, 3 years in the business. He's already at rank 5. We paid him to date nearly 72,000 rand. You can see the hard work he's put in. He's connected 16 people on his first point. That's translated into just over 230 individuals in his channel. His channel is 11 points in size. That's a big channel. Peter, why? Why did you do this business?
Yes, yeah, I'm shivering like a horse. Why? I'm here because of love. Love for myself, love for my beautiful wife, love for people, love for my country, and love for the simplicity of the DuePoint system. Now, me and my wife is successful in the real estate business, and we're doing well, so well that we could buy a couple of extra properties during the years that we rent out now. So even with that, Rob, we got the problem that anything can happen. We can lost everything in one single hour. So
you're diversifying.
Yeah, so we decided to join in with DuePoint. Well, it took us a couple of months to realize the benefit of it, just sitting there. But what I was thinking is, think about this. I was prepared to pay my product, funeral cover, for the rest of my life to get 20 or odd rands when I'm dead. And I thought, what if I can pay that and earn out of it? And you can see over 3 years, 71,000, not 20,000, 71,000.
And you're alive.
And I'm still alive. I'm still alive and kicking. But you know, the best thing is, we had all kinds of trips, but me and Arina and I had one dream, and that was to go on a ship cruise. So when we started with this, we put away maximum of our product into that investment, 2,500 a month. And last year in November, I was able to book that trip for me and Arina and I, and paid for it, and paid for the expenses then. So yeah, I had fun being in this business. And all that I'm doing different than anybody out there is I have a product that can generate a monthly income.
Okay. I know you wanted to touch on products. And you had some tips in mind for our wealth engineers. Is there any more that you want to discuss with regards to your experience in the last 3 years?
Yes. What I realize about this whole business is the easy it is to present it to people. You know, I don't have to do anything. I invite them to my house, promise them some coffee and cake, and then I'm sitting back, watching Rob and Brendan do the work for me, and said, isn't this fantastic? Huh? And if they said no, off they go. I don't mind, because you know what? One thing that I realized is there will be always the no's. But I can promise you today, that's guaranteed, that the yeses that you got by sharing this is so much that it will create enormous wealth for you. So just keep on doing that. What the products concern is, I decided for myself that as my income increased, to increase my products as well. So I start off with one, and then increase it to all three, and later on the family wealth also came in, and we took out that as well. And why? Because I realized, and I said to myself, if I'm not prepared to do it, how can I expect anybody in my channel to do it as well. Now, I want to conclude all this with the acronym. I said, pave your way to success. Now, actually, I went and looked in the dictionary, and it said pave means paving an area. But it also said to be. Be the person you want to be. Not that you want to become, you want to be. Now, P stands for pay your product. Because what will happen if you don't pay your product and you will die? Your wife sit with something she have to pay that's not there. On the other hand, the A stands for app. They gave us a tool that can't be replaced in any business. All that you have to do is spend less than what it will cost you to go and WhatsApp a person and go into your app every day. And the V stands for watch your training videos. Even if you do nothing else but watch your training videos, you will grow as a person. And the E stands for enjoy the process. And what is the S for? What is the S for? Can anybody tell me? No. It's for share. Share the business. Share the opportunity. Invite them, sit with them, watch the video, and share it. Even if it's now a no, it will happen to you. It happened to us. That they will call later in a year or after some months and said, listen, I want to see it again. And then they're ready. Thank you for the time. I appreciate it. And I hope that someone will get the benefit out of this talk today.
There's going to be a lot of people that get benefit. One of the things that we often like to touch on, and we spoke about it earlier, was the community in this business, and that we never do this business alone. And I know you wanted to mention
yes, that's a very important thing. You know, money is always a plus. Yeah, it's nice to get money. But I can promise you, the friendships that we built in this business is friendships. I get goosebumps. It's friendships that last a lifetime. You get it nowhere. I mean, I worked with people in the normal industry. I can't even remember their names. But with this, like Dani, Rulof, Patrick, and Pumi, Musa, yeah. I mean, it's so fantastic. Huh?
Awesome. Peter?
Thank you very much, Rob.
It's only a pleasure. We look forward to the next 3 years. Another cruise waiting for you too. Yeah, it's been a pleasure watching Peter. He's been in the business since day one. And I think you're starting to turn the gas on a little more this year. So we're very excited to see where you guys are going to be. On top of the returns program, we have a rewards program. So I made mention of the cruise available there. That is in this rewards program. So on top of the benefit that you get of creating a recurring income for yourself every single month, you get to engage in the rewards program automatically. And we give you these rewards as your channel gets to certain milestones in size. So one of the first notable rewards is at rank 5, you get a little fancy USB drive that's able to plug into any device. These are prospecting tools, so it just becomes a lot easier to connect people. If you've got all the video collateral on a little stick, and you can plug that into phones, tablets, computers, TVs, laptops. At rank 7, we spend 17,000 Rand buying you business cards, or at least manufacturing them for you. Who would spend 17,000 Rand on one set of business cards? You're probably thinking, I want to see these business cards. Right? You're going to have to go to some of our rank 7s and above and ask them nicely, because they usually don't dish them out for free. You let them touch it, and then you take it back. Why do we do that? Because it, again, is a prospecting tool. I'm someone that's worked in branding and advertising for the majority of my life. I understand the power that first impressions create. and you want to create the best first impression. I promise you, when you put a 17,000 Rand business card in someone's hand or on the table at a meeting, people will take note about when you start talking about DuePoint. And then another prospecting tool is Rank 9. So this is one everyone aspires to, rightly so, because at Rank 9 we take you and your family to our Rank 9 International Conference, not once, but every single year for the rest of your life. It's business class flights, there and back, and it's an all expenses paid trip, 7 days away, and it's a 5-star luxury resort that you get to enjoy. And it must just feel great knowing that you get to take your family on this trip every single year without fail. And at Rank 9, you've got at least 1,000 products in your qualified channel. You're earning 20,000 Rand plus a month at this stage. And this is what is awaiting you. And it's for every single person in this room. So I want you to imagine your toes in the sand. You can take your shoes off if you want. Who felt the warm sand between their toes? I'm getting very excited over the trip. We've already planned December's Rank 9 trip. We've block booked business class on the 2 British Airways flights. They only fly Saturdays and Wednesdays, so that's already done. We know what resort we're going to. It's probably even more spectacular than the first 2 that we've been to. And it's available for every single person in this room. The record to Rank 9 is 5 months. Who would like to go from 0 to 20,000 Rand a month in 5 months and get their business class tickets sent to them in their fancy little leather wallet? It's waiting for you. It's waiting for you. It is. Every single person in the room. 2 ranks later, we spent R250,000 Rand buying you a brand new car. And what do you think the best car is to have? What's the best one? There we go. One with no debit order at the end of the month. That's the one you want in the garage, right? We're at rank 11 in the rewards program. Our rewards program goes up to rank 28 currently. And so the rank 14 is a cruise through the Mediterranean waiting for Peter and Rena. We are trying to set people on the path to becoming truly wealthy. That rank 9 trip is not just a holiday. It's your experience of what it feels like to be wealthy. Right? Because who spends 200,000 Rand a week on a holiday for their family? DuePoint will spend it for you. Right? And these are all prospecting tools, because when this happens for you, I promise you, your inbox is going to fill up on Facebook. People want to know, I know that person, they don't earn that much. What on earth's going on in their lives? What's this DuePoint thing? Right? Prospecting tools to help you get there. And with that, we've got Francina coming up to share with us. Francina, step up. Francina, how long did it take to find a handbag exactly the same color as your dress? On the X here for me. All right, so let's take a look at Francina. I think it's your second time up on stage with us. Third.
It's my third time.
Third
today.
time.
Yes.
All right. That's because Francina has been just massively consistent in pushing her channel growth. So her current channel value is sitting at just over 6,000 a month at the moment. She's got 19 people on her first point. Her channel size is sitting at 4 points. She's got 133 people in her total channel. She's from Midrand, been in the business for a year and a half. Francina, you've been up twice before. I'm not going to ask you how you joined the business. I want to ask you why you joined the business. Can you remember why you joined?
Yes, I still remember.
Tell us.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Francina from Midrand. Background in self-employed. I'm a girl from rural area. My hometown is Mukopani. I've joined DuePoint 2017 October. But the first 3 months, I didn't know anything about my business. I was coming to the office, learn more things about the business until I catch up. Then I was starting to work when Sis Pumi said to me, Francina, come visit me, let's talk, let me help you about the business. I want you to start earning on the business. Then I said, yes, I'm available because I've got a lot of time. So my reason why I've joined DuePoint, I've got a big reason, a big why. I realized that DuePoint gives us the extra recurring income. So this extra recurring income, when they tell me about this, I said, wow, this is something that I was looking for, because I'm a self-employed. I don't know what's going to happen to my business tomorrow. So if I can stick to the business, to DuePoint business, I think I'll have what I want at the end of my journey.
And the end of that journey is?
My end of the journey,
What was that big why? You told me about it
my
today.
My big why, I'm looking forward to spend my 5 years at DuePoint, to see DuePoint buying a big house for me and my kids.
Cash.
I don't want to owe that house. That's why I'm still sticking on this business.
So the one thing about Francina is you're always here. I had once thought that maybe we hired you and no one told me. Always here. Francina can speak about her aspirations and what she wants out of this business, but the secret to her success in this time frame is that she shows up. That's it. She shows up every single day, right? But Francina, speak to us more about your experience, because I know you've had high points and low points. What does this 18-month journey look like for you and felt like for you?
This 18 months, it was not easy for me. It was some of the months, it was too bad for me. Like last year, I think a lot of you guys, most of you, you know that I've lost my husband last year, September. where my family say to me, Francina, you have to stay at home, you need to moan. So I keep on asking them, guys, you must know that now I'm a single parent. My kids need everything from me, and my kids are going to private school. So I have to do something with my business. Please allow me to go to my DuePoint business to do whatever I can. I know I have to respect you guys, but please give me that chance to prove what I can do to my kids. So, guys, it's not easy. I'm telling you, it's not easy, but it's doable. As long as you keep on sharing the business, as long as you keep on showing people the business, you will make it.
Yeah, and we're only 18 months in. What has been the high point for you? I mean, your income has grown dramatically in the last few months, so that's been awesome. How much money do you have to be earning to buy a house cash? Where are you buying? You're buying in a rural area or you're buying in Stain City? Which house do you want exactly?
Rob, I always say I want to stay at Greenstone.
Ah, you're going to be my neighbor. Okay.
I like that place, and I want DuePoint to buy that house at Greenstone for me and my kids. And always, my kids always, they support me. They say, Mama, we know you're going to do it. And another thing, I want to go to Mauritius as well. The free car, I don't want to pay my car. Like now, I'm paying my car. So it's not a nice thing. Now I'm renting a house, I'm paying a car. So always by the end of the month, I have to pay 10,000 for my car and the house. So if I can get this free car, it will be very, very nice to me.
You're on your way. You're doing everything right. Francina, you wanted to give a shout out. We always know, like I said earlier with Peter, this business doesn't happen in isolation. You've mentioned Sis Pumi. Where's Pumi? There's Pumi at the back. Do you want to take the opportunity and speak to some of your people?
Yes. My team, to you, my team, all of you guys, I know most of you, you are on the live stream. To all of you guys, let's keep on sharing the business. Let's keep on showing all the people the business. The system will never fail us. As long as we can go together on this journey, we'll make it. I'm always available. I want to help you guys. I will go with you wherever we go. I mean, this business, you cannot do it alone. But with your team, because it's a teamwork, with your team, you can. Today, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of myself because of you, to you, my team. Let's keep on doing it. I will be happy if I can see you in the next couple of months. Maybe if I can see 2 or 3 of you coming on the stage, sharing what you have seen with the business. I'll be very, very much happy, guys. I love you, all of you.
Thanks, Francina. Yeah, Francina was saying earlier that she spent a few months looking at the business. She was telling me earlier today when she came through that she's been involved in many businesses. And I asked her, well, how long did it take you to trust DuePoint? Because that's something we all have to, that's a point that all of us have to get to, right? To actually trust this business, to go, right, I'm going to start sacrificing time and really pushing this business. And it took you a few months to get to that position. And she said it happened when she realized that DuePoint will pay her what we owe her every single month. So that's great. I'm going to be very excited. We're all coming to your house in Greenstone when that happens. Our business is very much built on the necessity of the products that we provide into the market. And these we have innovated from scratch. We think they are the best products available in South Africa. So we're going to go through these. I want you to look at these through the lens of wealth protection. Our business is all about wealth creation. But at the same time, we have to protect the assets that we spent so long building. So our first product is Access Wealth. Access Wealth is going to cost you 324 Rand a month. It's an investment and an insurance product rolled into one. You get 100 Rand that gets invested into a tax-free investment fund that's in your name. You've got full access to that fund. You can see it resides with Sanlam, the biggest investment house in the country. And then the insurance aspect is 120,000 Rands worth of personal accident death cover. So if you're killed in any form of accident, we get to pay out 120,000 Rand to your beneficiaries plus whatever's in the investment. So that is Access Wealth. The second product is Wealth Guard. Wealth Guard is going to cost you only 249 Rand a month. This is purely insurance, but you get 1 million Rands worth of personal accident death cover for that 249 Rand. And one of the things that we've done when we designed this product, or all of our products, is to make them accessible to everybody without discrimination. And so as long as you're over the age of 18, you can take out this product at any age. You can be 70 and take it out. You can have a heart condition. The premium doesn't go up. It's not affected by your health status or your age. Right? Then our third product is Wonderful Family Wealth that we launched more recently out of any of the products, and it's becoming fast our most popular product. It starts at 299 Rand a month. It gives you 20,000 Rands worth of funeral cover. You get to cover an additional 5 family members. As the principal member, you also get 10,000 Rands worth of debt protection, and then you can increase this cover to 30,000 Rand as well as up to 10 family members. So we have not found, I look often at our competition, there isn't a product like this in the market at the moment. And then finally, we've got Wealth Points. So very excitingly, Wealth Points has expanded its partner list this week. So Wealth Points aims to lower your expenditure. Remember, I say we need to get to debt-free status as quickly as possible. If you can spend less money every single month, you can get to wealth quicker. And this is exactly what the product does. For 299 Rand a month, you get to share in the benefits and the discounts that we've negotiated with the list of partners. And you can see we've tried to cover the broad spectrum of typically what people spend money on every single month, right? From data to Wi-Fi to groceries, car manufacturers, and the new ones are Sorbet, Tequila Travel, Rock, Paper, Scissors, and Oxygenate. So you can find all these Wealth Points providers on our website. And if you engage in these partners every single month, there is a lot of value to be had out of Wealth Points. So if you want more information on our products, they're designed to be straightforward products, but go onto our website. There's an in-depth video review on every single product. When you become a wealth engineer, you want to do that anyway so that you really understand the power of DuePoint's products. And then we have some wonderful incentives. So for the people, we were talking earlier about connecting 2 people a month into this business. That's for the slow people. That's for the slow people, 2 a month. Huh, Francina? What do you see when you see someone connecting 2 a month? For the people that think they can connect 1 person a day, and by the way, we all have the ability to connect 1 person a day, by the way. Well, what is the benefit of connecting 1 person a day? So we're running an incentive called the 365 Challenge, which we launched at the beginning of the year. If you're able to connect 365 people in the next 365 days, right, so an average of 1 a day, you stand to benefit out of 1.275 million Rand out of the Returns and Rewards program. Why? Because if you do this, you will get to about rank 13, around about there. You'll be earning 40 to 50,000 Rand a month. You'll have the rank 9 conference. You'll have the car. You'll have the business cards. And on top of that, because you conquered the challenge that we set up, it says it's a challenge, we will give you an extra 365,000 Rand cash check on top of all those returns and rewards that you've earned yourself over the last year. You basically get to become a millionaire, unfortunately only in Rand terms, in the next 12 months. And that's on offer for every single person. And so with that, I want to bring up a very special individual, wealth engineer that we've known for the last 3 years intimately because we've been able to lie on the beach together. Donnie van Wyk, come join me up on stage. So you can see some of Donnie's statistics there. He's already earned over 1 million Rand out of this business in our Returns and Rewards program. He has been consistently pushing this business and building his channel since day 1. Out of this business. And he came to DuePoint by accident, if you can believe it or not, right? Only because he wanted to get away from the woman in his life. They were going to do something girly on a Saturday morning and he decided he'd rather come here. You can see this year's Converge Awards. He was awarded Most Persistent 2018 Wealth Engineer, as well as having the most qualified wealth engineers on his first point. So for the guests who don't know what that means, he's able to turn people that join his channel into earners more than any other wealth engineer in our business, right? And so we should be privileged to be able to hear from Dani this evening. Very excited. Your girls are watching, so I'm sure you're going to say hi to the ladies at home.
Yes.
Go for it. Give us your pearls of wisdom. I think you're going to be tackling the 365 challenge specifically.
Yes.
Right? How do we do that?
Yeah. It's scary because it's quite a burden. You know, people give you accolades. Some people that don't know me might think that I'm something extraordinary, but I'm not. I'm just a committed guy that's got committed friends. In fact, this is a team game. There's no way you can do that by yourself. Now, I promised the 3 women at home that I will say, hi, honey. Hi, Kliss. Hi, Shell. Now, I bet you at least one of them waved back at me, not knowing that I can't see them, you know. And I'll keep quiet now because I haven't eaten yet, and I have to go home. Guys, the 365 is perhaps, it's far more important than you might have realized. Now, I'm going to share something very personal with you, and you can either accept it or not. I'm not the fastest sponsor in DuePoint. I don't even hit the top 20. I mean, my upline's here, my downline is here. Some of my friends actually do better than me. In fact, I've spoken more than about 90 people already for the year, but I haven't closed all of them. But I'll tell you what I've done. I've closed people last week and the week before and the week before of people that I started speaking 8 months before, 2 years before. I was having a good conversation with one of my best friends currently, and we were talking. In fact, I started speaking to him 3 years ago. And the first time he was not interested. But he's a very likable guy, and you're going to hear a lot about him and his beautiful wife. And then there was a second and a third time. Now we talk DuePoint flat out. People take DuePoint for what's in their heart. Now people say, Donnie, what's your secret? What's your approach? Stuff like this. Guys, the one thing that I'm going to tell you is you need to be real. And I think that's what made me fall in love with guys like you. Because you're the real guys. I mean, people out there are kind of funny. You must have noticed. I'm going to do this exercise. Have you spoken to people in this month that said no? Now, for those of you on camera, you can't see it. Nearly every single person put his hand up. And I think some of my learned colleagues here stated some stuff about that. And you get people, Dan, I must be doing something wrong. The people say no. And I think to myself, but it looks like you're doing something right. Because if they say no, that means you're speaking to people. That's your job. You know, you don't have to, you know, whether what's happening in their life is not important, you know. I've got some excellent team members, good friends. I mean, if your name is Paul, whether it's Paul Bennett or Paul Ferreira, you're like a Jack Russell. I mean, Zach isn't the Barney, okay? My friend, which I couldn't mention, for a long story for another day. You know, I mean, there's Jeannie, there's people, you know, if I start mentioning names, I'm going to forget somebody, and I'm going to get myself into trouble. I don't want to ruin my team after 3 years. But you know who do I speak to? Johan Cronje this afternoon that encouraged me, because I get despondent as well. There's nothing wrong with being despondent, but it's what you do with it. In your lifetime at DuePoint, you're going to speak to 365 people, whether you like it or not. That's the price to have something that other people has not got. In the bakkie on my way here, Paul, forgive me, Paul is prospecting a lady, and I'll share it with you because I was praying to God. I was saying, you know, what's my message? Is there something specific? And then it arrived. He did a perfect approach to a lady. I'm not going to mention her name, so if you think it's you, it's most probably not you. This lady was apparently a good prospect. I can hear, you know, the radio was turned down and Paul was gooing, and he did all the stuff that we shared. And this lady was 8 months behind on her house, okay? And some kind of sales, but she's not making it. So Paul pitched her about DuePoint, and she immediately said, that's not for me. But she hasn't seen DuePoint. And I thought to myself, seriously, lady? Does DuePoint work? Yes, Why? Because we're sitting here. If it didn't work, we wouldn't be here. Okay? Would you agree? So we're either a bunch of nuts, okay? And there's not a lot of us. Would we agree? There's not a lot of people like us, which is concerned about the future. We worry. How am I going to feed my children? How am I going to retire? Some people don't worry about that. You see them, they have DSTV, but they don't have a funeral plan. They call themselves very logical people. He practiced for the comrades, huh? But he's not here on a Saturday. He's got no pension, but he practiced for the comrades. Huh? Or worse, he's playing billikie rugby. You know, scary stuff. Huh? They're not real people. And I was listening to this lady and I thought, girl, you don't need money. You need a psychiatrist. Or something like this. There's something seriously wrong with you. I mean, if your house is 8 months behind and somebody offers you an opportunity, you don't even look. You know? See, I'm going to tell a story with a 365. When you approach people, it's not what you say, because it's what's in that person's heart. And let me explain. Picture this. You're driving in your car. The oil light comes on. But you tune your passengers. Don't worry. It's just a suggestion. In South Africa around us, there's a few nuts that's driving with the oil light on. Like that. I mean, the oil light of your finances, of your retirement has been shining a long time. But you don't listen to reason. You don't open up. We've got a saying, you can't do it wrong, as long as you keep on sharing. I mean, one of the first aunties I've got on my team joined because she thought Rob was pretty. I kid you not. And she's still in the team. She's got a few hundred in the team. And she'll forgive me for this because we joke about it. I was going, it was my first approach. I was uncertain. I was trying to explain the opportunity. And she just looked and she said, yo, hy's mooi. And she said, sign me up. I said, no, you have to. She said, he's beautiful, sign me up. Thanks for being pretty, Rob, because he's still in the team. You just pray that he will keep his good looks. It's what in the so if people say to me, Donnie, what kept you in the business and what makes you, I would say is I took DuePoint and I put it in my heart. In the book of Proverbs 24, it says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so easy. A lot of people don't succeed in DuePoint because it's not in your heart. Because if it's in your heart, people would want that. People join my team because they want what I have. If I show you stuff in my life, you most probably wouldn't want my life. Last year was one of the toughest years of my life. I lost my mom. She took a year to die. I lost 3 special people in a row this year. They tried to murder me and my wife 9 months ago. Destroyed my car. But I still go on. Why? Because I don't make my business about my circumstances. My circumstances must fit in with my business. My daughter is playing hockey. The one day she said to me, Dad, you haven't watched one of my hockey games this year yet. I said to her, honey, I need to tell you something. Okay? The first thing a spouse in a relationship should do is love your family. The second thing is, if you're a parent, you should try and earn. I've got no respect for somebody that doesn't try and earn. It doesn't matter if you make a lot of money, but your children should see you trying. Doesn't matter if you succeed, you should just go try. And I said to my daughter, I don't want to come to DuePoint on Saturday morning. I want to cuddle in bed, watch your hockey. But if I do that, there's no Mauritius. And you got to believe me, I'm turning 50 in about a week's time. Okay. I said to her, you're not going to understand it, but when you're my age, you're not going to remember the hockey game. You're going to remember Mauritius. You can either have the excuse or the success. You're not harming your loved ones by showing up. You're doing the right thing. Having DuePoint in your heart, if you have it in your heart, people will say what's in your heart. You will pitch. You'll keep your installments active. Nobody wants to buy your dream if you can't even keep your premium active, man. Because you're like the wind. If you tell people about DuePoint, but you never pitch, you're never here. I mean, they walk around, you don't even know they're in your team. I see that often. I've seen people watching the presentation alone. They come here alone, you know. You're not supposed to do that. You should speak to people. It doesn't matter whether they've said yes or no. That's irrelevant. My question is, did you speak to people this week? If you listen to stories, and I was saying, listening to what say 365 is, how many names have you got in the air currently that you need to follow up? Do you still follow up? Those people that you spoke to, have you got a list of them? Do you follow them up? Because things change in their life. In fact, if they find out that you haven't changed towards them because they said no, okay, and you're still pretty convinced about DuePoint, they find out that you've got something that they don't have, and then they come towards it. Because I tell you, South Africa is a country without plans. I see many problems, but not a lot of plans. Do you see opportunities being given out there? Now this opportunity gives you a chance to have privilege. Now, some people want to take privilege into the mud. This is a lady from a rural area, but she's living privilege. Why? Because she self-selected her out of it. You see, if a person is drowning, but he doesn't realize it, you can throw him anything you want. He will not grab onto it. So what you should be doing is look for people that realize they're drowning. That lady that me and Paul spoke to tonight does not realize she's drowning. So it means, yeah. And you know that you don't drown by falling into water. You drown because you stay there. Nobody's drowned by falling into water. You drown if you stay there. Because life is going to overrun you. What must happen in your life before you give a person that shows you this clip a chance just to show you how DuePoint, how tough should it get before you just look at it? I nearly said no when I looked at it. Nearly. I was totally convinced that I wouldn't join. But it made sense to me. So I joined. I told my wife, of course she hasn't seen it, so she didn't know that it's something, you know. And my ways of explaining were so pathetic that you wouldn't even take it, you know. In the first month and the second month, I was only earning a few hundred, so she was really concerned about my mental health, you know. And then a little while down the line, it turns into a few thousand, and then she said, oh, how does this products work? And that was mentioned, and I said, I'm not going to tell you. Because the products, people say it's irrelevant. Why? People say, I don't have 249. Nobody asked you for 249. We want 5 names. Yeah. If you want to pay the product, you're a bit stupid. I mean, because you're wasting money. You should actually find 5, 6 people. Every single person knows 6 people. Do you know that? I spoke to the other guy. I said, how do you know? I said, a coffin has got 6 handles. That stopped the argument. He had no words. Okay. So if the 6 people that's going to carry your coffin doesn't join your business, get others. You know? It's as simple as that. Why do you want to pay the product? The product is very important, it's very necessary, and it's very unique. But I'm not going to tell you the product. In fact, if you want to know about the product, I'm going to ask this person to explain the product to you. What I'm saying to you is you need money. And you need a better life, and you need it soon. And next month's fuel price increase is going to be more than $2.49 per month. So if you don't make it now, I need you to see things to get out of the water, because currently you're doing things the wrong way. And I promise you, don't hold on to a drowning man, because you're going to drown with him. People, there's loved ones in our life that's going to drown. There's people in your life close to you that don't listen to you. You warn them, but they don't listen. And they're going to, just take it for what it is. What I wanted to share with you as well, when you do the 365, what I wanted tonight is show you what goes on in my mind and in my heart. What's in my heart is my friends that's working with me, Donovan and those people, because we've got the same passion. I went looking for people that can see. If they can't see, I can't work with you, because you're going to drown me as well. Yes, he might have a nice opinion, but you know, they're saying, opinion is like an arsehole, everybody's got one, you know. You know, I know my daughter and wife is not going to like me saying this on YouTube, but the reality is opinions, okay. doesn't get you somewhere, your example does. You know? So you need to show up, you know. There's something that I wanted to share with you, and now I'm nervous and I kind of forgot. But as far as the 365 is, you might feel that this year, the 365, that it doesn't go as well, that you want to. And I want to encourage you and say, don't stop. I mean, because success is standing up one more time than falling down. And you never know who you're going to open up. I remember me and Paul, we spent a lot of time, because incidentally, we both married to a woman called Sandra, and both of them are Portuguese, and we stay very close to each other. So I see Paul a little bit more than the other team. And last month, particularly, he had a lot of no's, and he was very frustrated about it. You know, and if you know Paul, he was like up and down. And then the last week, he signed 5. But if he quitted the week before, he wouldn't have had the 5. So see, nobody takes you out of the business. You take yourself out of the business. You know, people think if you sign or you log, you're successful. It's not. By joining a gym doesn't take your stomach away. You have to go there as well. People belong to a church, but they don't go. People register for DuePoint, but they don't pay, you know. Now, if you keep on quitting things in your life, okay, there's no help. You need a psychiatrist, not money. No money. In fact, if you get money, you might go do some even sillier things. So maybe you shouldn't get money. But you're only going to get yourself out of the trouble if you change your mind, if you put DuePoint in your heart. 365 means you're going to speak for 300, 400 people in your DuePoint career. It sounds insane, but the more time you spend with us, the easier it becomes. Because remember, what you do is you just speak to people. It is as simple as this: listen, times are tough. We're not doing great. Me and my wife came across the opportunity. The extra money is going to help us a lot. There might be an opportunity for you to make some money. If you're interested, I can introduce you to a colleague of mine that's going to explain to you how the business works at our head office. Or we can live stream from our home. Which one would we prefer? If that guy is desperate, he'll have a look. If he doesn't see the light, that oil light, or he chooses to ignore it, he gives it, it's not an oil light, it's an indicator light, okay? Okay, let's debate that, you know. Then he's going to fall flat. The question is what do you do when people say no to you? Do you follow them and become like them? Then you'll never become a leader, because you can't lead people if you do what they do. We need you to do, and I mean, I'm speaking to the converted, you're here. If you want to be a leader, you must set the example. You must do the things which others are not prepared. So that means maybe you dodge a hockey game here and there. In the meantime, I've watched the hockey game. I managed to watch one, so, you know, God willing, I'll do another one. But the secret of the 365 lies in the contingency. Not making it about the problems or the hassles in your life. You must open shop every single day. The shop is your mouth, okay? You cannot have a business if your doors are closed. Nobody can get anything from you if you don't. Whatever the jokes or the summer side, I was laughing that woman when she said to Paul, she said, well, she's in sales, house is 8 months behind. She said, I don't like sales. And I thought to myself, you know, purely you shouldn't. You should leave sales to these people. You should get out of sales. You're not doing very well. You know, from the so maybe you should give it to somebody that can do. And I'm proud to say with salespeople like these, this is success. I haven't seen anyone done a sale tonight, except him. Okay, he sold the concept. We bought in, but we didn't sell anything. For some people, it's still a bit tricky, but just think about it. Nothing was sold. We bought in. We bought something for ourselves, for my family, not for strangers, and that's a unique thing. I'm blessed to have met people like you that run for the 365. If you only 2 people in for the year or 0 people in for the year, 365, if you can do it in a year, great. If you've got names flying in the air but they're not down to the ground yet, keep on speaking to people. Keep the names you've spoken to, follow them up. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Birthday, a joke here and there. Start a conversation. If they ask, how are you? And say, great. I had an excellent week with DuePoint. They shouldn't ask you how you're doing, because then you're going to tell them, okay? But some people, and I'm going to finish with this, if you ask them about DuePoint, they look like death. Have you seen some people? They look, you know, you think, looks like he's got something contagious, you know. Have you ever stood in the foyer and have a look at the people who are here tonight? They're all friendly. They're all dreamers. what's the nicest about the people here tonight is they're in reality. Real is so rare. You know, sitting with people that fear the future and do something about it. If I walk outside of this building, I sit with people that all they do is complain and they blame. It's not their fault. Okay? But it doesn't take the problem away. In here, I'm spending time with souls, individuals just like us, looking for a solution. You're taking it on the chin every week and you're still smiling. You know? Why? Because you know the next guy might be a yes. And every no is not a no, because that guy was a no. That guy was a no. That guy was a no, but now it's a yes. So was it a no? No, it's not a no. Okay? It's not over. You know? Life is still coming. As far as I can see the future in South Africa, things are going to become very tough. This is going to be a very plausible 365, $1 million in a year. I'm not as strong. I've been trying this flat out. Sometimes I get ahead, but I've never stopped trying. And because I kept on trying, the results came. Because I've never stopped because of the circumstances, not because my mom is ill, not because my life was threatened, not because my car's broken, not because I'm broke, not because of other people say, I met this one guy, he said, I wanted to come Tuesday, but they burglared me. And the next Tuesday I couldn't, it was load shedding, it was darker, and my dogs get very scared. And as the other Tuesday I couldn't come because he reversed over his laptop accidentally, you know. And the other Tuesday I left, I thought to myself, but if I were you, Tuesdays won't get out of the bed, you know. I think you should do DuePoint on Thursday, stay home, you know. I don't know. But this is the people that they think if they've got an opinion, that's a solution. Guys, you can practice for the comrades. You can pay your DSTV. You can have all the excuses, but retirement is coming, whether you like it or not. As we speak, you're an hour closer to retirement. And as you're going to arrive, there's what you believe. Okay? And if you're going to work, if you work the 365, that means every single day you speak to somebody. If he says yes or no, it's not important. What I want to hear is, did you speak to somebody? If he said yes or no, that's irrelevant. I want to know, did you speak to somebody? And secondly, those people that you spoke to that hasn't answered yes, have you got a system in place that follow them up? Because I sign up a lot of people which somebody spoke to. So you know what? You're the fourth guy that tells me about DuePoint. I said, but maybe God has got a sign for you. You should actually, you know, that should. I said, who do you spoke to? I said, I don't know. I don't have their numbers anymore. You know, and somebody is losing the ground but didn't follow up on them. You know, so that's going to happen. If you don't follow up on those people, you're going to lose them. I kid you not. Some people take months to make a decision. There's a lot happening in people's life. So what are we going to do? From tonight, we're going to start looking for people that can see the oil light. Okay, if they don't see the light, nothing you're going to do. Yeah, if you think Rob is pretty, make it work for you, okay? At least he's making money on the side as well, okay? But I'm privileged to work with guys like you and Brendan and their lovely families. They've got beautiful spouses, beautiful children. I love you guys, but I'm actually humbled by doing business with guys like you. I'm honored. If I leave this life, I did it with real people. Thank you, God bless.
Thanks, man. Very candid testimony from Donnie. Thank you. I think the lesson is success at DuePoint is only your responsibility. No one else's. No one else's. And so we go out connecting people in hope that they will see the opportunity without the need to try to convince them of it. Convincing them is not your responsibility, right? Just connecting people. And you can make this happen for yourself. So the decision is, for me, always, it's not about what we want out of this business. You've seen everything that's on offer, all the benefits in this business. The question that we need to answer always is, how do I consistently fit DuePoint into my life? I don't fall foul of only doing it when I feel like it. That's called a gym contract or a New Year's resolution, right? I think the necessity of this business speaks to much more than something that you can only afford to do when you feel like it. And so this evening, as a guest, if you're intentional about doing this business, I want you tonight, before you go to sleep, figure out how you're going to fit DuePoint into your life tomorrow. Might be just 5 minutes. Start off at 5 minutes, but that's where it begins. A little bit of background on a business as we close off. Going forward as a DuePoint wealth engineer, we've heard from our wealth engineers. We've heard about doing it with DuePoint being in your heart, being authentic about this business, and understand there is a journey to building trust in this business that we're proposing to you. Right? And so the first step is just to find out more about DuePoint. Go do research on us. Go do research on Constantia. And know that you're dealing with and you're partnering with a very credible business. It's been around for nearly 70 years. We're audited and regulated constantly. Right? And know that whatever we promise face to face with many of you, we will deliver on all those promises. Always, always. Because our aspiration is to build long-term relationships with people in this business that change their circumstances for the good. That's the FSP number that we operate under. You know we're a registered insurance company. You can go look at all our financial licenses. They're on display outside in the foyer. They're on our website. You can go to the FSCA website and look those up there. And with that, I wish everyone this evening a prosperous 2019. That is my wish always for people at DuePoint. DuePoint is going to be a bubble of prosperity. When all around us we're going to see people that desperately need opportunity and prosperity. And we have to just lead by example. And so I wish that for all of you this year, prosperity. Good luck. Thank you.